Do you happen to feel overwhelmed in your business and don't know where to start organizing yourself? Then you probably need to set up your company's organizational structure. And this topic seems complex to many people, like it's only for large companies with many departments and hundreds of employees. But believe me, this is fundamental for you too, even with a small business or brand. A good organizational structure brings order to the house, making your day-to-day calmer and much more productive. And the best part, it's not complicated to set up for your company. So let's show you now how to set up your company's organizational structure in a simple, practical, and functional way. All this in 4 professional steps and without secrets. But to begin with, do you know what an organizational structure is? Let's simplify. Organizational structure is basically the way your company is organized to function well. Imagine your company as a human body. Each organ has its vital function. Therefore, the organizational structure is the way you organize the parts or functions of your business so that everything works in harmony, achieving objectives in an organized manner and within deadlines. It's like a map that shows who does what, who reports to whom, even if it's just you to yourself at the beginning. How the departments connect, and how information flows. What are the roles and responsibilities of each person or area? Without this, what happens? Tasks get lost. No one knows whose responsibility it is, time is wasted, and growth becomes chaotic. It's the map that guides everyone, showing responsibilities and connections between tasks. But for those who are just starting out, the organizational structure might seem like an exaggeration or even unnecessary, but believe me, starting in an organized way makes a huge difference because it helps to avoid chaos by having more clarity in functions, which improves the flow of information and work. Be more efficient by having less rework and more focus where it matters. Make better decisions as it provides a clear vision which facilitates identifying problems and opportunities. Grow in an organized manner with a solid base for expansion. Besides serving to organize functions, not to create bureaucracy, it is to simplify and optimize your time and resources. With this in mind, these are the 4 simple but mandatory steps on how to set up a truly functional organizational structure for your company. 1. Understand your company's main areas. Regardless of your type of business, practically every company has 5 main areas. Administrative. This is the area that takes care of the internal functioning of the company. This includes activities that are not always visible to customers but are essential for everything to run smoothly. It oversees the whole, plans the future, organizes tasks, and ensures synergy between functions. Thinking about the company's next steps is exercising management. Financial. The financial department controls everything that enters and leaves the company, which allows knowing if the business is making a profit or a loss. In other words, it takes care of cash flow, expenses, financial planning, pricing, and profit. That's why it's essential for the company's health. Marketing and sales. This is the area responsible for showing your business to the world and turning interested people into buyers. Without it, the company might be good, but it will remain invisible. It is literally making your brand appear to the right people at the right time. Thus, creating a connection with customers to always make sale. It attracts clients, communicates the value of your product service, and creates sales and relationship strategies, posts, conversations with clients, promotions, and much more. Operational. This is where you deliver the product or service you sell. Everything that involves production, execution, delivery, and physical service is here. In other words, it delivers what was promised. It produces, packages, ships products, or performs the service with quality. Therefore, organizing the schedule, buying materials, all this is operation. Customer service. Customer service is not just answering messages. It is a strategic area that takes care of the relationship with the public before, during, and after the sale. It is here that you gain trust, solve problems, and create loyal customers. In other words, it seeks to ensure customer happiness in the post-sale, solves problems, and seeks loyalty and referrals. Answering questions, asking for feedback, and offering support is providing good service. In addition to these functions, others may arise or even start together with the company. For example, IT, technology, legal, compliance, contracts, bureaucracy, R&D, research and development, innovation, new products, services, purchasing, negotiates with suppliers and negotiates prices. Anyway, there's a lot. However, the idea is not to hire or set up a team for each area from the beginning. The most important thing is to be aware of these functions and that they need to be taken care of. In the beginning, usually, the entrepreneur is the do-it-all or shares with their partners. This is part of it and even good because you get to learn how everything works in practice. But throughout your entrepreneurial journey, the ideal is to hire people to help take care of these areas. This way, dividing the tasks so that each department can have time and focus on what really matters. 2. List and organize all tasks. Now, with the areas clear in your mind, write down everything you do in the business, from answering emails to buying material. Everything. For example, considering the 5 areas we showed in the previous step, create a column for each of the areas. If you considered more areas in your business, include them in this list as well. Below each one, list all the activities you already do today. As a very simple example, it can be a table like this. Then, put your name or the name of the responsible person next to it. And even if you are in all of them, you will already have clarity on what is part of your daily routine. Thus, you already start to see where the bottlenecks are, where you can delegate, and what needs more attention. And out of curiosity, how do you organize tasks and responsibilities? Have you thought about these functions separately? Share your experience in the comments. Develop the organizational chart. Basically, it is a visual representation of a company's organizational structure. In other words, it shows the hierarchical relationships between the various departments, teams, positions, and employees. It is a graphic representation of a business's organizational structure. Its main objective is to ensure that each employee performs their functions efficiently and appropriately. This will greatly help in structuring departments and functions by hierarchical levels, which makes it much easier to delegate and divide tasks among teams and departments. When developing the organizational chart, present it to all involved people so they understand and see the structure as a whole. Think about the future. Focus on the now. Now, with everything organized, analyze your organizational chart, the definition of departments, and the responsible people. Understand if everything makes sense or if there is a possibility of making improvements. Thus, always monitor the company's performance and make adjustments whenever necessary. As your company grows, you can delegate functions, hire or outsource, create sub-areas like customer service within marketing, hire leaders for each area, document processes with simple manuals. Anyway, keep in mind that the organizational structure is not something fixed. It must evolve along with your business. This is the starting point. The structure evolves with growth. The important thing is clarity on what is needed today. But be careful. When working with your business's organizational structure, be flexible. The structure adapts to your business. Therefore, revise periodically. This structure in the daily routine is a tool, not just a drawing. Don't leave everything loose and don't go by your gut feeling. This might work for a while, but then it turns into confusion. Also, be careful not to put the same person in everything without clarity. One person can accumulate functions, but it is necessary to know what they are and have coherence. At the same time, don't create overly complex structures too early. Start simple and increase as needed. Furthermore, the organizational structure is to help your business have more focus. Identify where help is needed. Improve communication and fluidity in processes, and mainly, professionalize your company. If this is not happening, review everything we talked about here and reapply it to your organizational structure to start seeing results. Agreed? Besides, if you want to avoid the main mistakes made by entrepreneurs and beginners who have a small business, watch this video that shows exactly that. This way, you will have a much better foundation to grow and succeed in your company. To watch it, just click on this button above or on the link in the description. We hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to know more about how to set up and manage your own business, visit our YouTube channel where we have several videos about this subject. If you liked it, share this video with your friends and family to help them too. Thanks, and see you next time.